Hi, this is Janice Seagraves, and you see behind me my greenhouse is now zipped up. It's getting cold. It was 61 degrees, which I'm sure to people back east that's nothing, but for California that's getting cold. And I'm finally wearing my sweater, and or one of my sweaters, and that's how cold it is. I've been wearing this since this morning, and we're going to be having a tour and seeing how my garden had fared through our long, hot summer. Hi, this is this is Janice Seagraves. I'm taking you for a tour of my garden. It is the 1st of November, well, 2nd day of November, and yeah, there's not a lot of things growing in the garden. Um, these are pretty much died back. My tomatoes are, well, they're hanging in there for the most part, and this is my squash plants. That's the Black Beauty over there. This is a crickneck yellow squashes, another crickneck yellow squash. You see they're not doing too well. I guess putting them in these little pots wasn't really great. This one's doing a little better in the bigger pot. There's one plant there, and then there's another plant down here. This one, the second plant died off. The first one is still going, but hasn't put anything on in a long time. I've only harvested a few things off of these. This one's still alive, and this one's still alive on this one. At least there's two, but only one in that one. This is my fig tree. I actually replanted some of these fig trees, and my avocado tree too. So this one back here has been, you can see it real good. This one back here is my fig tree that I transplanted, and it was doing really badly, losing most of its leaves, and I planted it and it just started doing much better and put on more leaves. This one's in the same pot. No, wait a minute. I put this one in a bigger pot too. Well, anyway, this one's doing pretty good. This is an avocado, and it's still in the same pot. But this one was in a tiny pot, and I transplanted it. It literally lost all its leaves. It went into shock, lost all of its leaves, and then, as you can see, it just produced these great, big, huge, beautiful leaves. And it's come out of its shock. It's doing great now. This is the cherry. It's my daughter's cherry. I take care of for her, and it's doing pretty good. It's putting on even more limbs. The limbs are growing longer. This is my Japanese maple that my husband bought. Well, the neighbor gave it to my husband. For me, and I transplanted this one into a bigger pot too. And then those are the blueberries, and they're doing fine. They're just really leggy right now. I'm not sure if I should try to trim the back or not. And that's my nectarine. It produced lots of nectarines this year. Did really good. This one, a lot of the limbs broke off. You see that right there? Probably not. It's black lit against the blue sky. But anyway, it lost a lot of leaves. There's a limb right there. Broke off. So we didn't get as many peaches as we wanted, which is too bad, but we don't seem to be big peach eaters in this house. My husband and I eat a lot of the nectarines though. So the tomato plants, or not tomatoes, the grapes did really well this year. They're starting to die back now since it's fall. You can see right here. And it's fine. This is what it does this time of the year. You see, we didn't get to pick all the bunches. They ended up drying out, especially the green ones for some reason. That's my lemon tree, and it's doing pretty good. It had produced really big lemons this year, and we didn't really manage to pick them all. There's actually a few still left. But with the citrus, you can actually leave them on and they'll be fine. And there's some lemons down in there somewhere. Let's see if I can find you one. And they are growing. So we'll have some in, there's one right there. Great big huge one. You see how big that one is? Let me compare it to my hand. So it's pretty good sized. Anyway, so we're going to have lemons probably in another month or so. The thing about lemons is you can get 2 crops a year off of them, so that's pretty neat. Fig trees, you can do that too. Oh, and wanted to update you on this. And this was something my husband and I had put up so that the grapevines can grow across it and give us a little more shade. This natural, kind of a natural green shade, and it is working. I mean, they're doing really well. We need to tie this up. It's hanging off. Okay, now for the rest of the garden. I lost some of my flowers over here. It was just too hot. These over here. Let's see if I can zoom in. These are my mints, and they're doing fine. They didn't do real great during the summertime, but they came out of it. They're doing fine now. And that's thyme right there. It died. This is strawberries. Step up here. This is strawberries, and they're on a planting tower, and I took part of it off, and I'm trying to get some of the ends to grow there. And this one right here is a lavender trumpet vine that I call my mother's vine because it's similar to one that she grew. It's doing okay. Let me come a little closer in here if I manage not to fall off. I'm standing on the raised bed area. Anyway, these are my succulents. So it's my succulent garden in there. That is a, I'm going to think of what it's called. Well, I'll post it what it is. Sometimes names just escape me. Well, anyway, that's the type of jade. And then these the jades that I got in Morro Bay that I carried all the way home in my hands and planted when I got here, and been taking care of them, and they weren't doing really that great, but they're perking up now and they're doing much better. This is one I bought in one of the local hardware stores here in town. This one's starting to come out of it. It's part of the top part of the jade plant, and they're putting on now. This one's interesting. It has little babies of some sort growing underneath there. And this one I've had for years. It was actually an empty pot, and I had this succulent on a plant shelf above it, and it dropped leaves in this one, and the above plant, the mother plant, died, but this one just took off in this pot that just had regular soil in it, and I went, okay, that's fine. This is the one that the prior owner to this house left for me because she found out that I'm an avid gardener like she is, and she said, I'll just leave this for you. And I said, that's fine. That's terrific. In fact, this is a gift from my husband. It was supposed to go on my desk, but I'm like, okay, we're not getting enough sunlight in here to make this poor plant survive. And this started with a bunch of little plants I got for like $1 discount, and I just planted them in here. This is a yucca plant, and I believe that's what it's called. I could be mistaken. I'll have to look it up and post it here. But this is one that I found behind the houses on the farmland that somebody had cut off from its roots and just threw it back down there. It was in some trash. And I carried it back, and I set it on, I filled up this pot full of soil, just set it on top, and it rooted. You gotta just love the resilience of cactus and succulents. They're amazing. And this is one that I had bought, and I've transplanted it 3 times now, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. This one's been transplanted twice, I think, so far, and it's about the same size, or nearly. And this one's this one's huge too. My husband likes them because he thinks they look weird and primitive. Okay, that over there, I don't know if you can see that real good. That is my blackberry vines, and they're just taking off. We did manage to pick just a few of them off this year, so that's pretty neat. I planted some, or I should say I buried some fish heads near it that I'll hopefully fertilize it. These are cyclamens that died on me, and they usually come back when it starts getting cooler. That one, it looks like you got green stuff in there. Yeah, that's cactus. It's one of my succulents. Some of the little leaves got in there somehow, and they started growing. This is, what is this one? I'm getting blanks right now. Well, anyway, I'll post it underneath. But anyway, this is one of my daughter's plants, and it's not doing real great, but it's not dying yet. There's some green still on it, so hopefully it'll come out of this. I might have to trim it back a bit. And this is Better Boy, and you can see something's been chewing on it. That is grasshoppers that's been chewing on it. Stinking things. I go out here about every other day when I'm doing my watering, and I'll hose off the bush, trying to see if there's something will move in here, because if there's grasshoppers, they'll move when you hit them with water because they don't like that. And sometimes they'll even jump out, and then I can see where they are when they do that. Haven't been really having a lot of problems with tomato hornworms, knock on wood. But this one just grew and grew and grew. It's a very healthy plant. It's just, I don't have any tomatoes on it. There's blooms. There's a tomato bloom right there. It's kind of nodding and heading down, but it is a tomato. Hey, stinker. There is a grasshopper right there. I don't know if this will focus real good, but it's right there in the middle. It's got its beady little eyes on me. Yeah, I'm going to come back and get you. Yeah, I'm going to come back and get you. It looks like it's getting ready to jump. It looks like a juvenile. It doesn't have wings yet. This is why did my mind keep going blank? I'll just put it down here at the bottom of the page. Anyway, it's one that has done really well for me this year, and I keep saying next year I'm going to just like plant like 4 or 5 of these because they're just doing so well. And ooh, is that one that's ripe? Yeah, it's got a blossom end rot, but it is putting on. They usually get bigger than this, but it's into the season, and it's just putting on these little ones. And but this one has performed really well for me. There's another one with blossom end rot. I guess it needs more calcium in the soil. I'll have to make sure I put some in for next time. Anyway, there's another one. And I hose these off when I'm watering. And anyway, it's doing pretty well. And then this one is one of my volunteer yellow pear tomatoes. I have my brains working. And there's a couple right there. It hasn't really put on very much. This is the second one I put in this place. The first one was the store-bought one, and it died on me. Well, it didn't taste bad. And anyway, this one I found growing somewhere, and then I just planted it here to see if it put on for me, because it didn't cost me anything because it's a volunteer. And it's doing okay-ish. And so when the frost gets to it, which should be near the end of the month, since this is November, I'm going to just pull it up and plant some more of the fish heads. My daughter had went deep sea fishing and brought home some fish. So I have fish heads frozen. And this is some peppers. I can't exactly remember the name of it, but they are just putting on. I actually fertilized them pretty good with some, what was it called? Neptune's Choice, I think was what it was called. And it just took off. These things just grew, like they doubled and tripled in size, and they're just, all of them just loaded. I told my son, well, you're going to have to make some more, oh, it's getting all shriveled up. You're going to have to make some more salsa for us to eat. That one is a cucumber that it got some whiteflies decided to chew on it, and I keep trying to hose it off when I'm out here, as I'm trying to keep things, they're not on there now. And I did take some cucumbers off, just some kind of weird shaped ones. They weren't pollinated very well, I guess. But anyway, they're barely hanging in there. I had to pull one out. It was on this side. You can see my finger moving up and down. There was one on this side and I pulled it out. This is the one on this side, and it's like barely hanging in there. Now, I gave up on some of the things I planted over here, but I had some microgreen seeds, and I decided to try them. This one is a lettuce type, and I don't know if it's the red or just the regular, but I found some, bought it, and just poured it on top, watered it in. That's all I did. And this one over here is it's another type of microgreen. It's broccoli mix, and they're getting a little bit leggy. I might have to just go ahead and finish harvesting that one out. This is my broccoli I planted at the beginning of the season. Something's gotten in there underneath the screen, and they're just chewing the heck out of it. So I'm thinking about just pulling those up and just planting some of my microgreens in that one, just giving up on growing anything else in here. This one also is microgreens, and I've just been harvesting a little on top and then leaving the rest of the plants in here to grow, and they're getting a little bit big now. So that's doing all right. I think the microgreens are performing the best for me right now. This one's I've been harvesting on for a while, so you can see this. It has some missing, so this one's doing all right. This is my onions. They kind of died back once it got really hot. And it's not hot now, it's cool, or cool-ish. It was like 80 today. It'll be 80 for the next few days, and then it's going to drop dramatically down to like 60 degrees. Now this one over here, some more microgreens. These are actually sunflower seeds for microgreens, and I put a bunch in there and it grew up. I planted some over here, and I did a little experiment. Half of this was planted on top of the soil, the other half was lightly sprinkled with potting soil. The ones that came up the best were the ones that were on top of the soil. Same goes for over here, but they all eventually came up. And here's some more of my broccoli microgreens. So I've also been harvesting on here, and you can see how well they're doing. So I think for these, I'm just going to stick with the microgreens, so they seem to be doing the best. Oh, and this is the strawberry plant, and for some reason it's just not doing that well. Oh, I think there's a little strawberry right there. Yeah, and there's something feeding on it. What is that? Looks like I dropped it. Where'd it go? Yeah, shoot. It looked like there was a pill bug in there. They like to get in here and eat on my strawberries. It wasn't a very big one. Well, that's what I'm doing now. Oh, I wanted to show you this. If you notice, there is something missing right here. Right here, my grandsons put those in there. And then over here, there's another blank spot. That is where my mind is just so blank today. I don't know what's going on with me. But anyway, that one died. This one over here produced one about the size of my fist, and I opened it up and tried to bite, and it wasn't very sweet. And my mom tried it, and she said the sweetness just never came up. And it was ready to pick because it even split. It picked rather easily, and it was trying to split. And I thought it had to be full of sugar, and it wasn't. It had a bland taste. So I'm probably not going to plant that again next year. It was just an experiment. And so I have another one to try, and it's a miniature. I think it's like a Japanese melon, and that one doesn't get too much more bigger than my fist, so I figured it'd be perfect for back in here. These are my my beans, my my burgundy beans, and yeah, they didn't do very well. I have no idea why. I had some radishes planted over here, and they came up and then they died. But I have these. These are actually rainbow colored. Let me see where my hand here. Rainbow colored carrots. Let's see if there's anything in there. Oh, it didn't do too well at all, did it? Ooh, it looks like I have root knot nematodes. Okay, let's try this one. Nothing there either. I should have at least a baby carrot in here. Okay, one more time. And still nothing, and I'm caught. These look like they just didn't do any good at all. Well, heck. So I guess I can't grow carrots. I had some carrots growing over there, and they were doing all right. They grew about as big as my little finger, and I have some over there now. Well, let's go ahead and pick those and see how well they're doing. Something got a hold of me. Okay, let's see how this looks. Oh, here we go. That's not bad. Yeah, that actually looks pretty good. It's probably a nate. This one looks like it got ate up by something. It's got holes all over the leaves. I looked at it one time and I had a little something growing on it. Yeah, there we go. It broke off. Yeah, see. I've got a pod. It's all dried up now. I got a little bit of a pod, but not much. This one, and then I have one last one. Yeah, up we go. Oh, it's little. Okay, that was it of it. Oh, there's one more. There we go. Yep, there we go. Well, we got something at least. I'll bring that in the house. My garden. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.